my name is Jason. Welcome to the channel. Now, the first step to properly interpreting the David and Goliath story is to prepare to preach the whole thing. While the slaying of Goliath is the best part, it's only 4 verses in a 58-verse narrative. By only delivering the climax of the story, you're missing out on all that wonderful momentum produced by the build-up and context. Then, not only does the climax lose power, but meaning. Way too often are David and Goliath sermons squandered to make them all about you and how you can slay your giants if only you had faith like David's. But if we take the story as a whole, we find out that it's not about us. It's about Jesus conquering the ultimate enemy. Our role in the story is not David. We are the army of God that's being tormented by a giant no one can face. Now, because of its length, you won't have time to expound on each of the 58 verses. But that's okay. This is a narrative, so just retell the story by hitting the main beats and conclude by showing that Jesus is foreshadowed through it all. And I've put together a few points here to show you what I mean. Goliath's description. It starts by identifying and describing an enemy that's too intimidating for anyone to fight. Goliath is too big, and his armor is too strong for anyone to accept the challenge. And the challenge is battle by champion, which means one man represents the whole army. This is unique to Jesus. Only he qualifies as our champion. There's a reference to 40 days, and it's a clear reference to Jesus facing Satan after his baptism. Both David and Jesus are sent by the Father to the front lines of the battle. David fills these 3 roles that are also assigned to Jesus in the Gospels. The winner of the battle will be rewarded with a bride. Another clue that we are not David here, because we are the bride. We are Jesus' reward in his victory. Another reference to Jesus' time in the wilderness. David fought bears and lions, and Jesus also was among the wild beasts. Like David, Jesus did not fight with conventional worldly protection. 5 is the theological number for grace, and grace uniquely belongs to Jesus. He only needed 1 stone, but with grace, there's always more than enough. If you remember back to Palm Sunday, what were the people shouting? Hosanna, which means save us. But they also shouted, Hosanna to the Son of David, who comes in the name of the Lord. Finally is the 2-stage victory. First, David conquers by slinging the stone. Then he conquers by drawing the sword. Likewise, Jesus is already conquered by the stone. And we know from Revelation that when he comes again, he'll have a sword. And this will be final. The David and Goliath story is a wonderful foreshadow of Jesus conquering Satan. He is our champion. He is the hero. His victory is our victory. Satan stands against us, taunting us, tormenting us, trying to get us to fight amongst ourselves, getting us to be afraid, getting us to backslide. But there's good news. There's one who comes in the name of the Lord, and he is worthy, not by the world's standards, but by God's. We don't need to be afraid anymore. The stone has been thrown and the sword is coming. Satan has been subdued and the final death blow is inevitable. So we rise up as the army of God and let worship be our battle cry. Watch the demons flee in fear as his name is sang about from generation to generation. You see, this story isn't about you conquering your giants if only you had faith like David's. No, this story is about the Son of David conquering the giant that no one else could. And that'll preach.